everybody. We want to welcome you all into our Relo Cairo Mentors platform. With you, Anan AbdElRahman, Relo Cairo Mentors platform founder and facilitator. We are so happy that you are joining us today in our session online forms that work. Actually, today's session is a very interesting one, and it's an urgent need with Mr. Atef AbdElRahman. Mr. Atef AbdElRahman is a Relo mentor trainer. He's also an e-coach. He trains teachers to incorporate technology into their classrooms. He's also a FELT certified from AUC and CELTA certified from Cambridge University. Mr. Atef is an AE teacher. Okay, he is also a Microsoft innovative expert. Kindly you are asked to switch off all your cameras and mics just to reduce the background noise. Hello, Mr. Atef, how are you?
Hello, Anan, for
Nice to
the
meet
great
you.
introduction.
Most welcome. Nice to meet you today.
It's always a pleasure to be with you, to be with the Cairo Mentors platform.
Thank you.
So I see just a quick reminder of Relo Cairo Mentors platform page. It's advisable and to like the page and follow whatever professional development session that are presented.
Thank you.
Anan talked about this. So before I start, can you hear me all well?
Yeah, right in the chat box. Yes.
Yes, please type 1 or yes in the chat box.
Yes, we have many yes.
Okay, that's great. So our session today is about online forms that work. Make the best use of your form. And we're starting with a question. Why talking about forms? Can you write in the chat box why are forms important for us as teachers or teacher trainers? Can you write in the chat box, please? Why talking about forms?
Yes, some people are trying to create quizzes. They are excellent means of testing, share ideas to facilitate. We can use it for surveys, making surveys, easy access to videos, organize your work. That's great.
Fantastic.
Discussions, yes, super, yes. To make evaluation, they are means of assessment, collecting data. Excellent, great job, yes.
Wonderful idea. So some of you hit the target. And of course, we use all these things that you talked about or you wrote when using forms or making forms. But now everybody wants data. Schools and teachers want to track their students' performance. Companies want to know more about their customers. Platforms want members' opinions or feedback, or as we know. So now we have in our hands as teachers or as students some tools that are easy to learn and make so that we can collect data. And most of these tools are free, like Google Forms, Microsoft Forms, SurveyMonkey, and so on. So as some of the attendees said, to collect data. Data now is so important. So let's carry on with our learning outcomes. Sorry.
No worries.
By the end of this session, hopefully, we will be able to explore different uses of online forms, identify top tips for using forms, and especially we are going to talk about Google Forms. How can we use Google Forms efficiently? And we'll talk more about add an auto-generated certificate to our quizzes. And this is what many attendees look up for?
Yes.
Okay, let's start with a question, and I want you to use the chat box. How do you use online forms? Please write in the chat box. What kinds of uses do you use online forms for? Whatever platform you are using, Google Forms or Microsoft or any other tool. Can you write in the chat box, please?
Quizzes for assessing, assessment, collecting data, registration, testing, discussion.
Wonderful
assessment,
ideas.
polls, assessments again, grading, surveys, and so on. Yes, that's great.
Yes,
Yes.
great ideas, and you are perfectly right. So now we'll talk about how do we use efficiently, how do we efficiently use online forms. And we are going to play like a guessing game. So I'm going to show you a picture and try to guess what this usage is for online forms. Please write in the chat box. So what do you think this is for?
What do you think, guys, for this picture? Try to guess. Surveys. Some people are writing surveys. Muhammad Abdel and Islam Saber.
Good.
Surveys, communication, brainstorming, group
Yes.
work.
Good ideas.
Collaboration. Yes, that's great.
Great
Group,
ideas. So
yes. Zoom meeting.
Let's see.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we use online forms for opinion surveys, like some of you said. So it's a kind of feedback. So Relo Cairo Mentors platform want the members or the attendees' opinion about, for example, the sessions we are providing, or about the pre-recorded videos we are making, or about any activity or any thing we do. Teachers want their students' opinion about something. For example, whether they like that or this. For example, you are making like virtual trip to a place. You want to know, did they like this place or not, and why not, and so on. So opinions are very important. Next picture, can you guess what's this for?
What do you think, dears? Hamad Al-Ginzi wrote questionnaire, polls, Islam Saber.
Well done.
Yes, good
well
job.
done. They are really quick.
Yeah.
You're right. So
statistics, charts.
You got it?
Yes.
Fantastic. You got it right, Khairi, and I see, yes, it's all about data, like you're right. So most of you got it. So it's quick poll. And as you know, it's a tool that I use to know the pulse of my students. For example, usually with closed questions, like, for example, did you like this? Yes or no? Would you like to go to this place or that place? For example, like in virtual trips. Would you like to do a session or a speaking session, or, for example, reading session? And you want to know the opinion of your students. Usually, as I said, closed question. The difference, opinion surveys, usually you have open-ended question. So what do you think of that? What do you think of this? Next picture. Can you guess?
Try to guess, guys. What do you think about this picture? Timing.
Yes,
timing.
something related to time. Yes,
Meetings,
timing.
portions, timing, timetables and schedules, time quiz.
Okay,
time
something, yes, has to do with the schedule and time the question.
Managing times.
Good suggestions. Anything else? Okay, let's see. It has to do with time. I can use online forms for late work submission. So you have some students who missed their, for example, quiz or whatever kind of assessment you give them. So you design a form that has, for example, the name and the reason for the late submission. For example, this suits maybe university students better. like why are you late in submitting this, for example, research or paper? And the students have to write. And it's up to the teacher to accept this excuse or not. It depends.
Yeah.
Well done, everyone. So let's move. Other uses of efficient online forms. Try to guess. This is very easy. Yes.
Questionnaires.
Use, right?
Yes. Testing.
Yes, right.
Quizzes.
Fantastic.
Exams. Understanding. Okay.
Okay, so I see some really good answers. Okay, you're right. Most of you got it. So some said testing and the quizzes, yes. But we mainly talk about auto-graded quizzes because it's an easy and quick way that teachers can use to assist their students. So if you make your quiz or form closed-ended question, the platform will do it for you, will auto-grade it for you, like Google Forms. So you just add MCQs or drop-down menus, and Google Form will just auto-grade it for you in a sec. You don't have to grade the quizzes yourself. Of course, there are other types of quizzes. You can have like short answers and long answers like paragraphs, but in that case, it won't be auto-graded. You have to grade them manually, okay? If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box, and by the end of the session, inshallah, we'll answer all of your questions. Next, try to guess. Try to guess. Yes. Okay.
Opinions, attendance. What else? Yes.
Look at the picture. Try to guess. Love. Okay.
No. Tahar, try to connect your mic properly. It's working well. Some people are saying passion, emotions, gentle and fast.
Could be.
Weather, work by distant learning.
Really good ideas.
Yeah, speed.
Yeah, by the way, yes, I will say it. Okay, something, I guess it has to do with pictures. It has to do with pictures, especially with young learners. So the usage is, you can make a quiz or a form, the answer with an image. And this is really good for young learners. So instead of, for example, you write, you give them a picture, what's his job, and the students read and answer. No, you give them a word and the students choose the picture. I think I have the form here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Can you see it?
Not yet. Yes,
No?
it's clear now. It's clear now.
Yes. So I found this online and it's really good. And you can modify it or adapt it to the level you are teaching, to the subject you are teaching, like maths. It can do well with maths or science or English or whatever. Which one is 3? And they choose, okay? So as I said, it's really handy. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, can you guess?
Write your thoughts in the chat box, guys. Collaboration. What else?
Okay.
Source of knowledge, group work.
Could be.
Distant learning, library,
look at the
so
picture.
Yes.
What's wrong with the picture? Can you see the students?
The key
What's
is
wrong
here.
with the picture? Upside down.
Well done. Yes. What does it mean in our? There is a term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
What? Try to guess. Yes, yes. Great job. Yes, good job, Asmahan and
Flipped.
Islam Sabr.
Fantastic.
Flipped. Yes, yes.
Fantastic. So I use online forms for flipped classroom assessment. So flipped classroom assessments can come in different sizes or shapes or different things you can do. But most teachers or a lot of teachers use just a video and comprehension question. So you upload a video to YouTube, or you can use a pre-made video on YouTube, and you just add some comprehension question. I think I have it here. Anan, can you see the screen?
Flip the classroom assessment.
Yes. This is the video from YouTube, and you have some comprehension question. And of course, it depends on the video you are wants to, for example, flip. Is it like language or whatever, like grammar or pronunciation or whatever? Okay. So this is an example of a flipped classroom assessment. Okay, let's see, carry on. Can you guess? It puzzle. Someone said it puzzle. Wonderful idea. Yes, but you can use online forms for it.
What do you think of this picture? Running.
Can you use the chat box? Running. Where can we see this sign?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, someone got it. Aya. Yes, well done.
Packets, yes.
Well done, Nihal. And I see some really good answers. Yes, it has to do with exit. And we call it exit ticket. Or we call it bell ringer. So the bell rings by the end of the class. So exit
Great
ticket,
job, yes.
Something, a tool you use by the end of the class so that you know your students have caught what you taught. And then plan ahead for the next lesson or the next unit of teaching. So you can have a question. I usually have a question: what's the most important word you learned today? Or what's the most memorable thing you learned today? Or whatever. It depends on, again, the subject you are teaching and the item you are aiming at. So exit ticket. Next, can you guess?
To check students' comprehension, Zoom, searching, exploring, investigating, searching and lens zoom, yes.
Okay.
Searching again,
Could be.
discussion, screening.
I like the brainstorming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Concentration, focus on some notes, summative assessment. Yeah, great idea.
Let's see the picture. So it's needs analysis. So for teacher trainers, they know that it's a necessary tool you use to know what training should be done. So you evaluate your trainees. You ask your trainees, for example, what they need most. For example, what skill they need most, for example, in teaching, like teaching grammar, teaching skills like reading or listening or whatever. So you can use Google Forms or online forms to do needs analysis. And simply you ask them for some questions. For example, rate the skills, the teaching skills from like top to down. For example, teaching grammar, teaching vocabulary, teaching skills like reading, listening, speaking, and writing. And your trainees rate this, and you know, and then you get a chart, and you know which skill should you focus on. Because of course, you cannot train everybody about, you cannot train your trainees about everything, about all the skills or all the teaching techniques. You have to focus on some things. So you need this to do some tool called needs analysis. And if you search for needs analysis forms, you'll find lots of examples online. I saw some of the comments said about exit ticket. Someone said, I didn't get the idea. So students exit the class with a question. So when they answer the question, you know what you are going to do next time. For example, you ask them a question about things you taught, and most students didn't answer it. So you plan next time for a remedial class. You plan for next time for revision or to reteach in a different way. Okay, I hope this was well. Next, can you guess?
What do you think of this picture, guys? Write your thoughts in the chat box. Communication, email, Gmail. Yes. What else?
It has to do with messaging, right?
Yes. Getting feedback, involved.
Okay.
Yes. The homework.
Good ideas.
Yeah. Suggestions.
Okay. Maybe suggestions.
Yeah.
SMS. Using online forms could be. Maybe in the near future, they can connect forms to phones.
Yeah.
Okay. Good one. Yes, someone got it. I think Mona.
Mona Tariq, contact info.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
so
that's great.
The answer is it's contact form. So if you have a page or on Facebook or a group, you can have an online form that is as a contact form. For example, it has the name and the basic information, the name, the email, the phone number, the WhatsApp number. And for example, the reason why you are joining this platform or whatever, you can have a contact form for your website. If you have a Google site, for example, you can embed a contact form in your site. For example, whatever someone wants to ask you something or request something or inquire about something, you can have this form. Again, it has the basic information, and then, for example, the question you want to have in this contact form. Are you contacting us? You are a new member or old member? Do you have a problem? Do you have feedback or whatever? Or someone may ask you for a training session next time or whatever. Okay, next one.
Yes, what do you think, dears? Write your thoughts in the chat box.
Okay.
Try to guess what this picture refers to. Feedback, Mona, yes, good job. Assessment.
Good job.
Checklist, getting feedback, feedback evaluation, yes. Assessment.
Yes.
That's good.
Good ideas.
Yeah, the same. We are going around feedback evaluation
Yes.
and assessment, yeah.
Okay, so I can use online forms for instant feedback. Instant feedback for your students. At the end of the class, you can ask them, please log into this form and type, are you happy about the session or not? For example, a question, what did you learn? How was the course or how was the session? You can also ask feedback from parents. If you are teaching in a school, you can send a form to parents asking them for feedback. Do you think that your students learns effectively? For example, what type of lessons does he like or she like? For example, they like the activity or the project class. So you get instant feedback, whether from your students or from parents or from, for example, members of a platform or a group. Okay, let's carry on. Next, can you guess?
What do you think, dears, of this picture? Interviews,
yes.
Good job, Khairi. What
okay.
else? Discussions. That's good.
Okay.
What else? Interviews again.
Yes.
That's good.
Some say
capability of accomplishing something, interview,
it looks like an interview.
And so on. Yeah.
Okay.
Someone said info desk.
Okay. Yes. So info desk, right? But where?
Someone said customer service, yes.
We used to have this picture before Corona, COVID-19 crisis. So for online, you can use online forms for event registration. You have a coming event, online event, so you can make a form so that members of your page can fill in and register for the events, so that you know if people are interested in what you are doing or not. Okay, and then you send them more, for example, the invitation or whatever. Next, can you guess?
What do you think, dears? Meeting, that's my hand. Good job. What else? Dealing, okay.
Yes.
Sharing,
Welcoming,
connecting, welcoming, greetings,
Good.
invitations, communication, encouraging, yes, icebreaker, and so on.
Good suggestions. Okay, so did
arrange an appointment?
It has to do with meeting, knowing. Okay, Assam. Evening, Assam. The pleasure is mine. So am I. Okay, so it's getting to know you form. So you have a class or you have students. So you want to know more about their likes, their dislikes, their activities after school, or their activities when they are not online, so that you know them better. And when you know them better, you can teach them well and efficiently. So I think, yes, I have the form here. Anan, is it visible?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yes. So this one, I made it like 10 years ago. It's just basic info first, the class, and then the favorite subject. Imagine that they don't like English, for example. So you have to make extra effort so that they like you and like your subject. Which is the least favorite lesson? Which subject do you think you need most help with? Whatever. Favorite things to do after school. Whatever question you want to put in this so that you know more about your students. Why, for example, they like this or that. And so on. Which side do they most use for social networking, so that you collaborate with them or teach them using this social media, for example. Okay, next. Okay, can you guess the picture? Which use is this for, like online forms? Sure, Mona is asking for the form. Sure, I'll make sure Anan sends to everybody.
We're going to send it, yes, via email if it's okay for you, Mr. Atef. Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
Yes, it has to do with reading. Excellent. But how can I use it for reading? Yes, it has to do with reading. Okay, knowledge. The same principle. Yes. Can you be more specific? So when you say reading or knowledge, how can I use the form for reading? Reading comprehension practice, well done. This is the way. Is there another way? Of course, Islam Sabr is right. I can use it for reading comprehension practice, like IELTS or whatever reading.
Some people are saying skimming, yes, or providing students with yes. Scanning, reading preference.
Different reading sub-skills, right? I totally agree with you. And these are different or other uses for online forms. But what we have here is online reading records. So you are teaching IELTS, for example, and IELTS students or TOEFL students, they are asked sometimes to read online magazines or online newspaper. So you design a form for them, asking them, for example, what's the title of the magazine or what's the page URL, and you ask them for feedback. What have you learned tell me more about this content or that content or whatever. Or students at school, you can ask them, for example, like a reading diary. What books have you read? And you write, for example, the name of the book, the author, the publisher, what have you learned from the book or the story, what's the moral of the story, and so on. So it can be used in different ways. As you said, you can do it as assessment, or as I suggest here, for reading records. Next. Oh, sorry. Next, can you guess?
Some people are saying listening.
Yes.
Audio lessons.
Perfectly
listening activities and practices.
You're
yes.
right. Yes, you're right. You are right. So I used to think that doing listening activities online is very difficult. And I recently came to know that I can use online forms to do listening quizzes. So making a listening quiz. And I have a listening quiz here. It's very simple. You using Google Forms, you upload your listening file, and you make sure everybody can view the file, and then you paste the link for your students in the description of the quiz, and you give them, for example, the instructions how they can answer the listening quiz, and the basic info about them, and then the questions. Okay, and I wrote the instructions here in Arabic because this is the beginner course for beginners.
That's
so
great.
Again, you upload the file, MP3 file on Google Forms. You paste the link in and you make sure everybody can view. And you paste the link in the description of the quiz, and then the questions. Okay. And it's customizable. You can do it with all levels. Okay. Next. And second part, we are going to talk about tips for using Google Forms. Okay. And I choose Google Forms especially. I prefer most of Google tools over any other tools. It's really easy to use, and really let's start with the first step that can make your forms more efficient.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Atef, we have a very interesting question here from Miss Malaka Muhammad. She's asking if you are an English teacher or a computer expert. I just want to clarify, if you didn't attend from the beginning, Mr. Atef is both of them. Yes, he is a
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Anan is thank you for the compliment, Anan. You can say I'm an English teacher.
You are both of them, actually. Yes.
Could be.
Thank you so much.
Thank
yes.
you.
Yeah, you know, because you have a wide knowledge of using a lot of things like that, using technology in classrooms and so on. So it's a good thing to do something like that.
All teachers can use them.
All teachers should have this knowledge, because after the quarantine, it would be an urgent need in the career market, as we mentioned before. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Right. I'm sorry for interrupting. Yes.
No problem. No problem. Okay. So, top tips for using Google Forms efficiently. So, if you have been using Google Forms for some times, a lot of teachers, of course, use Google Forms for quizzes and other types of assessments, but it's not the only way it can make our lives easier and happier. You can make some things that make them fast and more efficient. The first one, and it's really handy, you will like it. Start a new form in a second. So you don't have to open anything and then click on something to start a new form on Google. You just have to type on Google Chrome. It has to be Google Chrome. Forms.new only. And you create a form in a second. A new form, you have to fill in, for example, the title and everything else. So in the search bar of Google Chrome, or they call it the Omnibox. In the Omnibox of Google Chrome, you type forms.new. And another tip, if you also want to create any tool of Google, you can use this form, docs.new, slides.new, and so on, sheets.new, anything, it's created in instantly, let's say, less than a second. So this is the first tip for using Google Classroom, creating it instantly. Okay, you're right, Muhammad. Next. Okay, if you have a form, you can make it receive notifications for submissions. Those who have been using forms for some times, it happens that you have lots of forms. For example, for me, every 2 days, I make a new forms because of quizzes or other type of assessments or questionnaires. I have lots of forms. And sometimes, for example, some students submit late than the others. So usually, or I used to do this, I used to log into the form and tap on responses tab so that I can see the form. I can see, the responses. But there is a tip that you can use that Google Forms send you an email whenever there is a new submission. You just tab, this is the form, you just tab on the responses tab, and you will find the 3 dots, they call it snowman. The first option is called get email notifications for new responses. So whenever there is a response, you get an email. So you don't have to log in your forms frequently to know if someone submitted the quiz or assessment or not. Okay? Let's carry on. Okay. Next, delete all the previous responses. I have some forms that I made like years ago. As I said, maybe 10 years ago or less. So they have responses again. So if you decide to use this form again with your some of the new students, it's preferable that you delete all the previous responses so that you have like new data, as I said. Because there is something, Google Forms create a chart for you of the responses. So you log into responses tab again, and this time you choose the last option, delete all past responses. It deletes all the past responses, and now you have 0 responses. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that new responses can be separate, away from old responses. Okay? If you want to keep all the responses, okay, you can copy the form and so on, and delete the responses again. If you copy the form, the responses will be deleted.
And it will make another link for it if we copied it, so it will be separated, right?
Yes. But if you want to use the same form, and that what I usually do, I delete all the responses. Sometimes I try to test the form myself more than once, or I send it, for example, to Anan. Please, Anan, test this form for me.
Yeah. Would you like to share it on the chat box now?
This is,
or which one?
No.
You are just giving an example. Yes, we did.
Yes. I was just giving an example.
Yeah. Okay. Some people here in the chat box are asking
and next, if obtain a pre-filled link.
Hello.
and I will tell you what this is.
Yes.
A pre-filled link. Yes, Anan, would you
I'm
like to
sorry.
say
Yes,
something?
maybe there is a delay in the voice. Yes, some people are asking, would you mind to show us something
Is it okay now?
on a real form? Yes, it's okay for me. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Hi.
Can you say what?
Yes,
Can you
some
say it
people.
again?
Yeah, some people are asking if you don't mind to show them this previous step on a real form of the responses.
Yes.
Yeah,
This one, delete and.
yeah, the last one. Yes.
Okay. Let me see. Let me see. This is the listening quiz. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's clear now.
Okay. This is the form, and of course, I'm logged into my Google account, and now I can edit my form. See, I can edit the form, add questions or delete questions or whatever. So if you are the owner of the form, you will see this tab, responses tab. So you have the questions and responses. So you click responses and you click on the snowman, 3 vertical dots.
Yeah.
And you click here, get email notifications for new responses, or delete all responses. Or if
Responses.
you
Yeah.
want, select response destination if you have an Excel sheet that you want your responses to be stored in. Okay, let me take this.
Yes.
Okay, this is a listening quiz I did like I made a week ago. It has 4. And look at the insights, the data. So I have, for example, someone got 10 and someone got 11, and then the emails and so on. Okay. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Hopefully it's clear.
Is it clear, guys? Okay. Most welcome, Mr. Ahmed. Most welcome. Okay, let's go.
Okay. We talked about deleting all the previous responses or past
Yes.
the responses that you don't want.
Yeah.
Obtain a pre-filled link. For those who teaching, like for example, students at school, sometimes you are tired of your students filling in the wrong information. For example, the wrong names. They are impatient to finish the form, so they type anything. They type wrong emails. Okay, so this happens with students at school. So because you know your students, you can give them a pre-filled form which has some fields that is pre-filled for them. Let me show you what I mean.
Yes.
This is the pre-filled form. I clicked on it, and once I clicked on it, I see some fields which is already filled, like the name Ahmed, and for example, I wrote the last name instead of the mobile phone. It was just an example. And the email sample@email.com, I filled it for this session. So you click on the link, you send the link to your students, and students find, for example, some fields that already filled for them, like the name and email or the class. Okay, if you have a small number of students, you can do this with the form. But imagine if you have like a large number of students, or you have more than one class. It can be done easily if you have data for your students. For example, you have their name, their, for example, email in a Google sheet or Excel sheet. It can be done through Excel equation. Yeah, you just do it once, and then it can be filled automatically. And I can send you a video that explains how to make this. So again, so that your students don't fill the wrong information like names and emails. And I need emails for forms so that I can send feedbacks. So I send feedbacks, for example, via email. So I need the emails to be typed correctly. So instead of letting them type their own emails, I type it for them. Okay. I hope you
Yes.
you got the idea. How can I get a pre-filled form? This is the form. Beside send, you click on the three dots and you will find get pre-filled link. So you will find the form, you fill some fields for your students, and at the end of the form you will find a link, get link. Let me show you.
Yeah, someone is asking, can they edit it, can they edit the info that they find it automatic refill? Yani can the students
Of course they can edit it.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
Anan,
think
unfortunately they can.
Why?
But if you
Why
have
unfortunately? I
yes.
think it's better for them if we are entering some maybe data that they want to correct or modify, it would be better.
Yes, but if you have students who can correct their own or their own information like these are devils.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
form will work for them.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
again, you save their times. So instead of every time they fill all with their names and emails and first or last name or whatever, or their class, you save their time. So, and then comes a student or a couple of students erasing these data or write wrong data. These are devils. You should keep away from them.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. So let me show you the pre-filled link. So you click here next to send and you click get a pre-filled link. So the same form, and then you type cannot, because I closed here, because this is the automatic emails. It collects emails automatically. You type the name and for example, you have a class and so on. At the end of the form, you don't have submit. You have get link. So you get link, and here you copy the link and you save it on a Google Sheet or Excel sheet, and then you send it to your students. Of course, you have some students, you have to fill it all.
It means that each link will be for
unique
student.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's a great hassle.
Yes, but believe me, it's really simple. You can, if you have 100 students, you can do it, but you have to have your data beforehand. For example, school provides you with their names and emails and whatever, their classes in Google Sheet or Excel sheet. And you can do it in a minute. We can have another session about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. That's
next tip. Adjusting defaults for emails, required questions, and point values. A lot of us make quizzes, so and sometimes you ask your students to write their emails. So you can adjust this as default in Google Forms, and you can adjust the point value of your question. So this question, the value is like 2 points or 1 point. You can make it by default. Just click on preferences at the end of the menu. Next to send, you click on the 3 dots and then preferences, and then you have this menu. You collect email addresses. So all forms will collect email addresses and make questions required. All questions will be required from now on. And the default quiz point value, for example, I make them 2. So instead of putting to a point value to each question in your quiz, you can make this like your default preferences. It saves a lot of time. Use logical branching.
Yes, would you mind to show it an example on Reel?
Okay. Okay, Anan.
I'm just trying to
no problem.
to assess.
No problem.
I know that.
No problem.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I'm just worried about the time. I don't want to bore the attendees.
No worries.
So
yes.
again, here next to send, you click on the snowman, and then preferences, and here you tick here, and this collect email addresses by default, and make questions required. All questions will be required. Students cannot skip them. And default quiz point value for me, it's 2. You can make it 1 or 3 or whatever you want. So from preferences, you can do this. And from now on, all your quizzes, the questions will be required, and the default quiz point value will be 2, for example.
That's great. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Next, use logical branching. And this is really handy. I have to show you this for. You will like it. Just let me close this. You will like this form so that you understand what's logical branching. This is a form that I found online. It's called the journey to be a mage. It means a wizard. And here, like a story, a teacher designed it. A math teacher designed it. He tells a story, a part of the story, and then gives like math problem. And the students have to find the value of m. For example, let me choose one. The value of m is, for example, this. Okay, this is wrong, of course. It says his first test to cross a canyon on a log and so on. It's a story. And I choose the wrong one. And then I click next. He said, wrong, Arthur. Thankfully, was able to catch a branch on the way down. You probably added 320 instead of subtracting it. So the teacher explains the math problem. This is wrong. You have to go back. So you click on go back and then next. If you click next, you will go back to the previous question. This is called logical branching. You base your form sections based on the answer. I'll give you a clearer example in a minute. So imagine if I clicked this, the true one, it says success, he crossed safely. And then another math problem and you have to answer. Students make mistakes and that's okay. So they go back and read again and correct their mistakes. Okay, how can I get the logical branching from when you design the form? There is something called description. You click on go to section based on an answer. And this will be very handy for you, Anan. You are designing, for example, a form for members of RCMP.
Yes.
And the form says, are you a new member? If yes, go to, for example, بيانات المتدربين or بيانات members. And then they type their name, their email, or whatever. If this one is not a new member, so he or she goes to another section. For example, did you like the session? What's your feedback on the session or whatever? Would you like to volunteer with us and so on? This is called logical branching. And it can be done as far as your imagination goes. It can be done in very different ways. I saw a lot of things, a lot of forms done in logical branching. Okay?
Yeah.
So when you design a form, you will find this. If you click on the question, you will find description, and then below, go to section based on an answer. And then it gives you choices. If the students choose yes, for example, he will go or she will go to this section or that section.
Yeah, from the description of the question itself, when we are constructing the form itself, guys, okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and here, the last part of our session, which is many of you were waiting for.
Surprise, yes.
Adding an auto-generated certificate to your auto-graded quiz. So you can add an auto-generated certificate, an automatic certificate that is sent to your participants or your students after they answer a quiz. And this quiz has to be auto-graded. It shouldn't be like it has like short answers or paragraph answers. It should be closed-ended questions because the certificate is sent based on a score and you determine this score. So if students get 80% of the score, you send them the certificate, or 100%, whatever you want. So this is an example of a customized certificate. Now, Anan, would you please send them? Let's try together with our attendees.
Yeah, sure.
Can you send them the form? Anan will
Sure.
send you the form on the chat box.
Right now, yes.
Can you log into the form and answer the question? And please type your email correctly so that you get the certificate.
Automated certificates. Try this link, guys. Just log in and start to answer and write your emails correctly. Be careful to write your emails correctly. Yes.
Yes.
But it would not be a real certificate, by the way, okay?
Yeah. Basim is saying you did it before. Well done, Basim. It's
not here. Mr. Khamis, don't write your email here, just on the link that I have sent to you in the chat box.
You have to get 80% for so that you get the certificate. Try to answer the questions correctly. It's okay if you don't know a question, no problem, you can try again. The quiz is just very simple. It can be answered in like 20 seconds.
Yes, I'm trying to answer now.
Yes, good, Anan.
Yes. Come on, guys.
Anan, can you try the link? Some say the site can be reached.
It's working. No, it's working. Google form, guys. It's working. Is it working with you? If yes, type 1 in the chat box, please.
Yes.
It's working with me.
Let me try to just click on the link.
Yes.
Don't try to write the link. Click
on it. Yes.
Let me try.
Yeah. Many people said that it's working.
I'm trying to load. Yes, it's working, guys.
Yeah.
There are only 5 questions. It's part of GCE, Google Certified Educator. I thought of these questions so that because our session is about technology anyway and Google Forms. Can you click yes if you have finished, or click tick if you have finished in the control bar?
Yeah, it's a great one. After I finished and clicked submit, it asked me to show the score as well.
Yes, you will get the certificate via email.
Yeah, that's
no
good.
problem. I think you have to get 80%. I think 8 out of 10 is 80%.
Yes.
You can try again.
Is it available to try it again?
Yes, yes.
That's good.
No problem. You can try it again, no problem. Khamis or Wissam, can you try again? It's working.
Yeah, after answering this quiz, we just want to know how to create such thing.
Yes.
In details, yes.
I can paste the full link again. This is the full link, not the shortened one.
Yeah, try it again.
No problem. It's just, the form is just an example. If you get some questions wrong, no problem. You can try again. Islam, good. Hayam, Ahmed. Yes, you're right. Ahmed Tawfiq is right. Fantastic. Oh, someone said I got the certificate. Well done. Well done, Ahmed.
That's good.
Well done. Okay, now let's proceed. How can we add an auto-generated certificate to our auto-graded quiz? So first of all, you should have an auto-graded quiz, okay? We agreed on this. So if the quiz is not auto-graded, it will not work. So you should have a closed-ended question like MCQ. And then, sorry. Okay, then from the options, you click next to send, you click on the snowman and you click on the add-ons. And the add-ons, these are some extra tool that you can add to your Google tools, Google Forms or Google Slides or Google Docs. And the same goes for Microsoft tools. They have something called add-ins, okay? So you click on add-ons and then you will have like a search panel like this, and you search for Certifyim. Certifyim, this is the add-on that you want to add so that you have auto-generated certificate. This is the tool. It's called Certifyim. You can have a screenshot so that you search for it later. Okay.
Yeah, can we apply it on
Yes,
a
sure.
real form? Yes.
Okay, so we will add Certifyim to your Google Forms. Let's yes, this is the form. This is the form, and I had 62 responses. Great.
Yeah, that's good.
That's great.
Active participants, yes.
Okay, so we click here. So step by step, click here on the snowman, and then click add-ons.
Yeah.
Wait for the internet to load, hopefully. Yes, here. And you search for Certifyim. Yes, this one. You click here. And it's installed because I have it on my Google Forms. So it will show to you, add this tool to your Google Form. So you click add or install, and then it will ask you for your password of your Google account, or it will ask you for authentication. And then you must have it like this, installed, and next to it tick. And then we go back to our certificate. So you have a quiz ready, ready-made, auto-graded quiz, and then you add Certifyim add-on. Next, you will find another like icon appeared next to customize. This icon called add-on. I have some add-ons here, and the first one is Certifyim. I click on Certifyim. Just wait, it loads. Let me close some things. It should have like Certifyim controls here, but it's loading. It can take seconds.
Yeah.
We can close this, maybe. Let's try once more. It should have like here controls, and then a panel adds here, and then you can, let me stop share for a second and do it again.
Take your time.
No problem. Okay, let me reload.
And you are the only one who is controlling if the certificate can be available for students when they pass 80% of this.
Yes, I can make it 80, 100, 70. Yes,
good.
it's working now, hopefully.
Yeah.
Where? Screen. Yes, this one. Okay.
Yeah, it's clear now.
Can you see it, Anan?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yes, and when I clicked on Certifyim, I can now show Certifyim controls. Yes, and I click on controls. It's loading again, loading. Okay, now my certification is on. When you use it for the first time, it's usually off. You have to turn it on. And then here, passing 80%, you can choose the percentage you like. And then it offers you free templates.
Yes.
The templates I used is the golden one. Okay. Okay. What if I want to design my own certificate? I want my name and my center logo or my page logo or whatever. Okay. These are pre-made. I can click on use a custom template like this. It opens this like box, and here the template is golden, which is provided by this add-on. I click on select a new file, and it opens your Google Drive. It opens your Google Drive. You have to design your certificate on Google Slides. Okay?
Yeah.
And I will show you how to design it in a sec. So, for example, imagine this is the certificate. You choose it, and then you choose select. Okay, I will show you the certificate now. So you design the certificate on Google Slide, and then you choose it from here. This is your Google Drive files.
Is there any option to upload a certificate from my gallery or?
Yes. Okay.
Or is it a must to upload it from Google Slide only?
No, from Google Slide. From Google Slide. You can have it as PDF or Google Slide like this. Okay, let me show you. This one I designed it. It's customized certificate. It says this certificate declares that the name, you write full name like this, and it must be put between 2 brackets, 4 brackets, 2 on the left and 2 on the right. And these brackets, can you see it? Or shall I?
Yeah, it's clear. Yes, it's clear.
Let me.
These brackets makes it automated.
Yes, automated. Full name and has completed or whatever you want to write. The title of your certificate, for example, Atef's test or level 1 test or whatever. If you want to write the date, and the other things are optional. On date with passing score of and then percent. Okay. These are optional, and there is a list of things you can add to your certificate. You will find it on the page of the add-on. It gives you information about how you can customize your own certificate. So the most important thing is full name and the title between 4 brackets like this, and the things you want to add to your certificate, and you can find wonderful pre-made certificates online, a lot of them.
Yeah. Looks nice, yes.
Yes. So in brief, you click on add-ons, you install Certifime add-on. You have already an auto-graded quiz. You made it beforehand, and then you activate the certificate. The certificate on it, the Certifime tool on this form, like this. So it's on here, and you have 100 emails. Each form can send 100 emails only. Okay.
Excuse me, yani each class, for example, if I make a quiz and more than 100
only 100
registered,
can get it.
Yeah, so what shall I do if more than 100?
2 forms. Yeah. You can you have to like beat about the bush. Okay,
yeah,
they say
we can limit this response for 100, then they can register in another form.
Yes. Right? Okay. There are other tools and add-ons, really nice add-ons, and there are other things about Google Forms. Just quickly, you can change any worksheet to a Google form, a PDF worksheet to a Google form. Inshallah, maybe we have another session for this.
For sure.
Now, quickly for Q&A, if there are Q&A.
I'm sure that there are. Hi, dears. You can ask questions now. We have 10 minutes for questions and answers.
Yes,
Go
Islam
ahead.
says you can duplicate the form, right? You're right, Islam.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have any questions, dears?
Oh, yes.
Thanks. Most welcome. Yes, go ahead, Asmahan. We are waiting, yes.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, very good question, Islam. Can I embed audio to a form? This is a wish that we all want to happen. You cannot, unfortunately. You can only, as I mentioned, upload an audio file to Google Drive and then put it in the description as I showed you. Okay, yes, you're right. Islam is right. You're welcome, Dr. Gharib. منورنا.
Yeah. After answering the form, do I get a certificate?
Yes. Haven't you
Yes.
got any, Mona?
Not
If you haven't got any, try again.
I got mine. I got mine, dears.
If you haven't got, try again.
Just to check your emails. How can we correct essay questions? A question from Mr. Muhammad Al-Gandhi. It's a privately.
Yes, manually.
Manually.
You can make a quiz with like essay or paragraph questions. So you have to correct them manually, or short questions, or for example, rating. This is like not a quiz. This is as, for example, questionnaire. All open-ended questions have to be corrected manually. So you put the value yourself, and it gives you the option that you write feedback. So for example, this students got 8 out of 10, and you write feedback. There are, for example, problems in cohesions or whatever. You're welcome, Mr. Isam.
Yeah. Another question here, can we design a form by myself? I think we mentioned yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It's, again, there are limitless usages for online forms, not only Google Forms. As I said, as far as your imagination goes, lots of ideas.
Yeah, another question here from Mr. Ahmed Tawfiq. Can I change the background? Which background, Mr. Ahmed, would you clarify?
Yes.
We have another one. The Google form face restrictions with sending pictures.
So about the background, you can change only the heading, the theme, the color of the theme. And you can customize the heading like the forms of Relo Cairo Mentors platform.
Yeah.
The heading theme is customized.
Yeah, another question from Mr. Ahmed Muhammad Abdsalam. How can I make what I speak get under my slides just subtitles like what we have now?
It's really easy. This is Google Slides, which I love, by the way. I love it. There is an option called the captions. When you present, you click on captions, and then your attendees can see. It's really handy. I use it.
Yeah, it's a great option. Yeah.
Yes, and it's also in Teams.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Reda. Yes.
Ms. Reda is said we need to know more about other forms. Okay, for sure.
Of course, inshallah, we can have like a session about, if you want, about like Microsoft Forms or SurveyMonkey, if you want.
Yeah,
Microsoft Forms is more flexible. I can't. It's okay if you think that one tool is more preferable to you than the other. It's okay, but again, you can use it in different ways. So the aim of this session that it's not only about like a quiz or assessment. We can use it in many different ways, as I talked about, or as you mentioned in your suggestions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One more question from
Mr.
Islam.
Mr. Ahmad. Would you like to ask a question? He said, may I ask? Yes.
Yeah, we have one more question from Mr. Islam Saber. He's saying, can forms be shared and edited? And are there ready-made forms that I can acquire, edit, and use them?
Yes, you can. There are already made exit tickets, but you can customize the questions. Online, if you search for forms, you will find a lot of forms that you can use and edit. Okay?
Yes, that's great. Okay. The one more question from Miss Ala or Dr. Ala. Is there a way to score speaking?
You're welcome.
Excuse me, the chat is going so fast. Yes, is there a way to score speaking and writing through Google Forms, or is it just manually? Speaking and writing.
So writing, you can type a question. For example, your students write an essay, for example, or a piece of writing, and you can grade it manually. Thank you, Mr. Ahmad. You can grade it manually, but for speaking, I don't know what do you mean. I don't know what you mean in speaking. How can I use a form for speaking? Maybe you can like a feedback after a speaking session, maybe. Okay, Islam Saber, can I answer the other point?
Which point, Mr. Islam, what do you mean?
Most You're welcome.
Most welcome.
Ms. Mona.
Yeah. Yes. The speaking. Go ahead. If you know something, just write it in the chat box. Students can record and... Okay.
Okay, how can I, good question I see, Anan, how can I engage students online to use forms? Okay, it's the role of the teachers to engage students using the forms. For example, you have to start with forms, it depends on your students. For example, easy forms first, so that they get used to use forms. Okay, don't start harsh with them. You can add visuals, for example, even if and so on, multimedia files, pictures. Recently, I used a form about jobs. I used pictures. It was really nice. How can, okay, so again, it's your role to engage your students. And by the time, from my experience, they use it well. And especially Google Forms, as I said, it's really easy and friendly to any device.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Atef.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and one more question, it's repeated one, asking about the subtitles. Again, it's from Google Slides, okay? There is an option that can make
you activate so that the subtitles, the captions are activated.
Mm-hmm. Another one from Dr. Ala. If I want to test students' oral fluency, can they record their voice as an answer to a question and upload it in an MP3 or something like that?
Yes, absolutely right. Yes. Yes, there is an option. They can upload a file and you determine the size of this file, whatever file it is, like MP3 or PDF or whatever. I guess this is possible. Or they can upload it. You have to give them options. They can upload it to Google Drive and send you the link via online form. So they paste the link, for example. When is the next lecture?
Dig deeper. Inshallah,
hopefully soon, Mr. Ahmad. It was a pleasure having you all here.
Thank you so much,
and
Mr.
I'd like
Atef,
to
for
thank
such an amazing
RCMP and especially Anan. She helped me a lot in designing this
thank you.
presentation.
I do nothing, no,
thanks a lot. And thanks for the attendees for being here.
Thank you so much,
inshallah,
Mr. Atef.
We'll see you in a coming session, inshallah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Atef, for your great effort. Thank you all our Relocator Mentors platform members and participants. Actually, what I want to add at the end that we should all try to learn something about everything and everything about something. We should be aware of using technology inside the classroom, and we should make use of our time nowadays during the COVID-19 pandemic and so on, just to get out with the best results, inshallah, and to be able to cope the career market as we mentioned before. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for the upcoming event. Just to follow and share our page if you are feeling that it benefits you. Share it with your colleagues and share it with all the teachers all over the world to join us next time, inshallah, and stay tuned for the next session. Thank you so much, Mr. Atef. Thank you all. See you soon, inshallah. Bye-bye.